Back on the SportsMax Zone, Jamaica's senior men's football team held their first training session in Texas on Tuesday evening as they prepare for a crucial CONCACAF World Cup qualifying clash with the United States at the sold-out Q2 Arena in Austin on Thursday. Now, as discussed on Tuesday's show, the Reggae Boyz are without several members who were originally named in the 23-man squad. Corey Burke, along with the English-based trio of Ethan Pinnock, Liam Moore and Daniel Johnson, out on the injury list. Leon Bailey, who was not named in the squad, is also injured, while West Ham star striker Mikhail Antonio cited logistical issues for his withdrawal. Antonio says he's unavailable for all 3 matches in this October window. The withdrawals have created some unease among Jamaican fans, but assistant coach Paul Hall, who was part of Jamaica's successful 1998 World Cup bid, says the players who are in Texas are capable of getting the job done.
I was asked this question in the last Gold Cup about who was here and who wasn't here. I think what's in the words of Rene, only those who are here can really help us and really help us go forward. So it's important to focus on the players who are here. That being, because we didn't have anybody in the midfield area, that's where Speedy Williams come through in the last Gold Cup and really emerged as one of our good players, really better players and most improved players. So going forward, we've got enough quality in the squad to beat these Americans. The mood is good. We just have to make sure that we that are in the squad believe that we can beat the Americans, beat the Canadians and beat the Hondurans. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, Paul Hall, one of the influential players in the Jamaica squad that qualified historically for the 1998 World Cup finals in France. And we wonder, George and Mariah, how inspirational his words could be to this current crop of players who have started the qualifiers stuttering.
And that brings me to my point, because you speak about his words being inspirational. He said the mood is good, but Lance, mood isn't everything and inspiration isn't everything to get us across the line. They would definitely, yes, need to use his words as inspiration and whatnot, but that would not be all. We need to get all the pieces in, because this game against USA is not a joke. It's sort of like a do or die game, because right now where points are concerned, the Reggae Boyz need every single point that they can get to get them across the line.
GD? Point is this: when the World Cup qualifying campaign started and there was in many quarters a wave of optimism around the team's chances, that wave of optimism was not prompted by the star names that have subsequently come to be attached to the team. What existed at that time was that there was a hope, a belief that those players could be brought into the fold, that the logistical hurdles and the other issues concerning nationalities and granting of passports could be sorted so we could have some players. But with the players who were definitively Jamaican players at the outset, before the first ball was kicked in the qualifying campaign, it was on that basis that optimism met the team's chances of qualifying for the World Cup. I say that to say that the fact that Mikhail Antonio is unavailable as a huge name, and some other players are unavailable, those facts don't lessen the belief among many Jamaicans that there is the quality personnel to push the team to World Cup qualifying. Now, what really is pushing people to have doubts are the performances in the 3 games thus far. But the performances have been with top players present and with some top players absent. Rafael Morrison, as we noted when we spoke to Theodore Whitmore, Rafael Morrison was said to be a central part of Tapa's plans, but because of the contract situation with Derby County, he's unavailable. Leon Bailey injured, and so forth. So the fact is that he had a plan and he didn't have some of those pieces that were central to the plan. He still has, if Antonio does not kick a ball for Jamaica for the rest of the World Cup qualifiers, Jamaica will still have a core and a squad capable of getting the job done in this qualification group. We hope that Leon Bailey comes back. So if we have Leon Bailey back fit, and I expect him to be fit for games to come, we may not have Rafael Morrison, I'm not sure. But if we have Bailey with what we have right now, I think we should be good. So the pressure on Whitmore is not that you didn't have Antonio, or you didn't have that guy, or you didn't have Morrison or that guy. It is with what you have, what is the best you can do with what you have. And what he has now on this day in sports, I believe, is good enough to get us to the World Cup.
But George, I take your point, right? But you can't change the fact that you said something just now about the fans, you know, it doesn't really I don't want to misquote you, but you said it sort of didn't dampen their belief in the team because the international players are not available. But I have to disagree, because I've been following these fans all over social media, because you know I'm there. And they were literally, when these players signed with Jamaica, their confidence were boosted even more so now than ever, because they felt like we have a force to be reckoned with. Names like Mikhail Antonio, Leon Bailey, it's as if people couldn't really touch us. And now with these players, you know, one by one dropping like flies, and I'm just using that term loosely, you know, dropping out of the squad due to whatever reason, it did dampen them, with some of them even asking, what's really going on? Is it that some of the questions were, is it that the JFF is trying to cut money? They went so far to say, well, maybe the JFF is holding back on their money. Or is it that it's something that the coach is doing that is, you know, making the players unhappy? So I feel like that point that you made, I have to disagree to an extent, because people, their confidence and belief in the team has been swayed with these players not being available.
All right.
Yeah. Well, let me say here, can I ask you then, what was the response from social media when those star players played against Panama and the team was wretched?
Right.
I think what happened then was that they were cursing the coach.
Yeah, they were.
They weren't complaining about the players.
Correct.
But, so why if all of these players are so brilliant and they have so much confidence in them, they didn't take some of the heat when the team played badly?
Well, that's the thing. We know how football fans are. We know, and not football fans alone. All sporting fans. Yeah. They curse you when you don't do well, and they praise you when you do well. But I just had to comment on George's point. Not that I agree or disagree, but I was just saying that I felt as if the confidence in the fans did drop a bit with these players being out.
So here's the thing then. So you say social media. I mean, you know what...
I'm talking about fans.
But you know what I feel about fans on social media. You know, many of them have no sense, and they speak the loudest. That's a fact. Many of them have no sense, and the ones who have no sense speak the loudest.
But they are legit concerns, George.
Not legit. I'm going to illegitimize those comments now. So, many of the fans on social media have no sense, and many of those who have no sense speak loudest. There are many who have sense, and unfortunately, those fans get crowded out by the noise. Here are facts. It's not as if, this is not a club situation where a player comes to a club, doesn't like what's happening, leaves and goes somewhere else. The fact is, Mikhail Antonio cannot play for another national team until the day he dies. He is dyed in the wool now, a Jamaican player. So even if he doesn't like the setup, it's not as if he can go now and play for England. It's done and dusted. It's not even like a marriage. You can divorce and remarry. He is and will always be regarded by FIFA as a Jamaica international. Fact. He, because of logistical reasons, chose not to come. And people are reading into that to say, wait, is there a falling out? Fine. Those questions aren't being asked about Leon Bailey. So we accept, and Leon Bailey's injury was, the world saw him get injured after that tremendous goal and performance for Aston Villa in that Premier League victory. Yeah? So we know that Leon Bailey is injured, so there's no question about why Leon is not in the team. Ravel Morrison's situation was cute because this was a player without a contract who is a player at the club that he came through the youth system of, rescued him. When he gave him a contract, he had to leave the setup and go and sort that out. And there are things that have not allowed him to come back to the fold. So there's no doubt Leon Bailey is a Jamaican player committed to the process. Ravel Morrison, we're not quite sure what's happening, but based on his interaction and his performances with the team in Saudi Arabia and in other games, there is a confidence that when he settles, he'll come back. There is a question mark around Mikhail Antonio. I'm saying, when you look at the other players that Jamaica has, and the players that have played well for Jamaica so far in this leg of the competition, of the qualifying competition, Shamara Nicholson, people believe in him. People believe in Corey Burke, low and everything. So I'm saying, if you excise Mikhail Antonio, and this is me talking sense to those on social media who are talking nonsense. If you remove Mikhail Antonio from the fray, say he never kicks a ball for Jamaica again, and I certainly hope he does, but I'm saying, if he doesn't, Theodore Whitmore and the JFF will be pilloried if with what they have, they can't qualify for the World Cup. And I'm saying to you that there is no doubt that before Mikhail Antonio sorted out his travel documents and other documents to play for Jamaica at the senior level, there was a huge amount of optimism and confidence that this team could get the World Cup qualifying job done, and that was with no Mikhail Antonio on the horizon. So I'm reverting to that to say that the people believe in the squad, believe in the project, and believe that Whitmore has enough to get the job done. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, Mikhail Antonio, and that issue was addressed by the coach, Theodore Whitmore, at a press conference today. We'll get to that and a lot more on the SportsMax Zone after the break.